Hello and welcome to another episode of the Leadership Lens, where we speak with global leaders on what's trending in the ecosystem today. We have a very special guest with us, someone I've known all my ad tech days, Sunder Madaakshira, who is the CMO India for Sinch. Welcome, Sundar. It's great to have you on the Leadership Lens.
Hi, Shiny. Always a pleasure talking to you as well as being part of AdTech. So look forward to an exciting session.
Absolutely. Sundar, let me tell the audience a little bit about you and then we'll get into the conversation.
Sure.
So Sundar has over 28 years of experience in leadership roles, specializing in MarTech, in the who's who of the MarTech companies. We have SAP, Adobe, Resolve, and now Sinch. Sundar has been an AdTech veteran. Like I said, I've known him all my AdTech years. He's been part of our AdTech advisory board. He's been an industry thought leader in marketing and leadership roles. He's one of the few people I always turn to when I need advice on what to do with AdTech or what content or what topic we want to talk about. He's currently with Sinch. He's the CMO India for Sinch. Sinch does personalized messaging using data and AI, ensuring you meet your consumer needs at every touch point. Now, that is Sinch in one line, but Sundar, do you want to tell us a little more about what Sinch does and how it's helping the consumer?
Absolutely. So, Shiny, thanks so much for having me here. It's always a
Absolutely.
pleasure being associated with AdTech and with you. I don't know how much for contribution I've been able to make, but surely I've learned every time I've interacted with you as well as the other peers that I have from the industry. So it's a very learning experience. I think I always am able to reinvent myself a little bit every time I am a part of ad tech in many ways. So
Thank
coming
you.
to your
That's so
question,
kind of you, Sundar.
yeah, no, it's very true. I look forward to being at this event, except for a few times when I've not been able to come because of travel, etc. I think I've been part of AdTech for quite some time now. So thanks again for the question on Sinch. Sinch is a global organization. We work across several countries, headquartered in Sweden. In India, we were acquired. We've come through an acquisition of a company called ACL Mobile, which many of our the viewers would be more familiar with. And 3 years back, we were taken over by Sinch, the global company, and that's how we are known in India. So we work with the global headquarters as well as with the product development teams based in India. Now, what do we do exactly? I think we make great conversations happen on every type of messaging platform that you can think about. So whether it is a simple SMS or an email or a WhatsApp message that you get or an RCS message that you will get, it is routed through a sync system in all probability. So what this means is that you're able to continuously engage with your customers, both for transactional purposes. That means you have to let them know that such a transaction has happened, and also for engaging with them with the value adds that you're able to provide through different marketing offerings that you have. So wherever you go, there is no going away from Sinch. Many of us may not be aware that we are actually part of almost every mobile, messaging platform. So that's what Sinch does. Very exciting for me personally because as a marketer, I get to know how other marketers are thinking about engaging with their consumers. So yes, that's what Sinch does.
Wonderful. So wherever you go, Sinch is with you.
Yes, it's a part of your. So wherever you go, you have a mobile phone, and wherever
Yes.
you where you have a mobile phone, very bright chance that it's running on a Sinch system.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we're almost towards the end of 2024 while we're speaking, Sundar. And how has the year been for you so far? I've heard so much mixed reviews of this year, and it was kind of expected right in the beginning of AdTech 2024 as well. But how has it been for you, and what do you look forward to in 2025?
Yeah, I'm sure it's been a year that we looked at as the formal end of what we call the COVID era. It started at the beginning of the year, then when everybody was wanting to reboot into the new year. So it was a very exciting year for us because this was the year that we did many new things. Sinch came into this into the market with several innovations that have been in the works. And what gives me special gratification is that we took on some of the customers' most difficult challenges and we solved it for them by developing products for them based out of our India office, as well as coupling it with all the global capabilities that we get because of the portfolio that we have globally. So it has been a year of introducing innovation into the market and also looking at how the industry is shaping up. Because I think, as you rightly mentioned, that the challenges come because we are in two industries which are very heavily regulated. One is telecom, and the TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and the banking industry, which is BFSI, where a number of our customers are there. It has been a year where we've seen lots of dynamism in the market. And I'm glad that at the end of the year, despite frequent changes in the macroeconomic environment, that everybody, I think, was trying to make transactions more secure, at the same time, not be prohibitive and inhibitive for consumers. Because one, we definitely want transactions to be safe, but at the same time, we should not cripple people with those challenges that we put as a part of the regulation. But we stayed ahead of those regulations, and many of these things we had foreseen coming. So it was good fun to go back to our customers and tell them that we have taken up this challenge and we are up to it. So today, I think what we have successfully established is that most of our customers would say that if there's an offering which is coming from Sinch, it is something that has been accepted by the larger ecosystem, because there's no point in having a great innovative product which does not comply with anything. So if somebody is coming into my office from Sinch and is making an offering, I think that is compliant with a lot of regulations, etc. And I think we've been also part of drawing up the roadmap for our customers in the future as well. So our products are not just ready today from a from the current requirement, but also future ready in terms of what our customers will probably have to think. You don't have to worry too much about in the next 3 or 4 years, and sometimes even more. So yeah, it's been an exciting year, and I'm very excited to welcome 2025 as well.
Wonderful. So it's been a year of innovation, a lot of work going into building the product and making it, fail safe for the next 3 4 years. I think that's quite a pipeline that you have. What segments of industry do you see benefiting more? So if I have to put it, if you're seeing growth, then in 2025 using these innovations, where is that growth going to come from the industry perspective?
Yes. So that's a good question, Shiny. So one small correction is that, when we're saying that this is something that we want to make it future ready, it is forever. These products will be forever, but definitely looking at the requirements or the possible requirements which are likely to come for the next 3 or 4 years. That's the whole effort that is there. Now, coming back to your question, which industry, right? Now, the interesting thing about Sinch is that no industry is something that does not need a messaging platform. So everybody needs it. So from that perspective, I think we are penetrating almost every industry vertical that we can think of. We have customers. We have 500 plus customers in India, and all of them come from very varying industry. Having said that, I think we see great opportunity in the BFSI segment. We will be making big inroads into the retail industry. We discussed it recently also at an event about how we are talking about and looking at the retail industry which can and digitize it in a fundamentally unheard of way. So we're doing that, and many other industries have responded very well this year. One is travel and hospitality, with food industry, and hospitality industry, manufacturing in general, automotive in specific, telecom, and so on. So it's been a It's been many industries that we've broken this year, and we will continue to do so next year as well. We started off with a legacy in BFSI, which we, I think, dominate. But I would say, though we have a good share in that market, we still have a very long way to go to ensure that all our customer needs are met through a Sinch platform. So lots to do in the next 3 or 4 years.
The wonderful. I think communications has become, and safe communications, let me put it that way, is becoming a priority with all consumers from a consumer point of view, right? And I want to talk to all these brands. So it's wonderful that the platform is available that is making this happen in an easy manner for everyone involved. Right. And when we were talking to our advisory board, you were part of that conversation, Sundar. I heard two big words, which was just bang on with what 2025 hold is attention and ROI, and a subset of retention as well, right? And if I look at Sinch today, it is just beautifully positioned in there where, the brand says, I want attention and I want ROI, and Sinch sits right there with retention and loyalty built into it. What do you think? What are your thoughts on potential solutions for brands in this space?
Absolutely. So I think if you look at it, they all the three words that you mentioned are very closely interlinked, right? So
Yeah.
you will get attention and you'll be able to retain that attention only if you do certain things right, and only that will give you the the medium and the long term ROI that's coming from, right? So if you look at it, I think since if I just reflect on the stories that we hear from our customers. So by the way, that's one of the big pluses for me as a student of marketing, that every time I talk to a new customer or a prospect or someone who's actually been there and done that for a very long time, you learn so many new use cases, new ways in which people are rethinking their marketing processes, the way they're looking at their brand, etc. It's absolutely fascinating. So there's never a dull moment if you are in Sinch. So if you just look at it, I think that the way I would reflect it is, I think getting the attention, I think, would be absolutely bang on, because earlier we were calling it the share of the market, right? Then we said it's the share of the wallet. Then we said it's a share of the time. Now it's a share of the attention that you're able to give, because people are distracted, right? You call it a distraction, we call it a distraction because we would like the person to focus on what we want them to do. But then people have their own ways of deciding what they should be focusing on, and what they should be, and how much of attention that they have to do, they have to pay. And I think this is a very this is a milestone in the life of any marketer, where he says that, look, if I don't get that attention, it's not possible to convert that effort into an actual sale. Because a lot of people can be giving you a lot of attention, but if they're not really in it, the attention, the quality of attention is not there, then it's not likely to convert to a sale. So somebody may just love your ad, watch it 100 times, then not actually go and buy the product. This has been a age-old challenge that's been there. So I think that is going to be important as to how do you make yourself relevant to the customer in the times, in the moments of truth. And that is very important. And that comes because of personalization and being able to identify. So there are a few important and not so easy milestones to achieve before you can declare victory on attention. So it's not about the clever use of messages or clever use of voice or video. Yes, those are very important ingredients. But first, you've got to understand what is the moment of truth that the customer is in at that point in time. So, and how do you convert that attention into a purchase, and then that purchase into something that is retained? Because then in between attention and retention, there is one thing which is very crucial thing which has happened, is that the customer actually interacted with the brand. That means bought the brand probably, right? And then how do you ensure that he's, the experience that you're promising is the experience he actually experiences, if I may say. So my double usage of the word experience is a very deliberate, Shiny, because I believe that the experience today is the new marketing that we are all in. People have to experience to for them to trust the brand and to actually validate in their own mind that yes, this brand can deliver what it is. And I have experienced it. It's not because somebody is telling me, but I have experienced it myself.
Absolutely. I think experience today defines almost all transactions, all brand interactions, and more so going forward with Gen Z and Gen Alpha coming into the fold. It is all going to be about experience. There is just too much data out there which says that the brand, the name, the logo is not what is going to be valued, but the experience the brand provides, or how it adds value to the human life is what is going to be important. And coming from there, Sundar, we saw an explosion of D2C brands, and this is also taking from your years as a mentor, as an industry thought leader. We've seen an explosion of D2C brands out there. And when we started, let's say in 2020, the entire thought was D2C means this is an online only brand, that you don't need to do anything apart from be online, get an order, ship it. Uh, then we realized that there is and theoretically it sounded like unlimited scale. But then 2 years down, we realized that no, the brand needs to be omni-channel. It needs to be in a retail outlet also. It needs to be in multiple points, spaces, and it needs to have the same effect within communications also. Right. Now, that's where I think a lot of D2C brands went under, because to make this omni-channel piece happen, you need to have really deep pockets, and not everyone did. Right. So, any thoughts on how can smaller brands make it happen? How does this play out for smaller D2C brands? In your thoughts, you've seen so many of them grow, flourish, not grow. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's a important inflection point for the D2C brands, if I may say, because I think a lot of these behaviors, see, it's all very closely connected with the consumer behavior about how he wants to go and actually make the purchase happen. How does he look for the product? How does he test out the product? How does he experience the product, if in any way? All these are are there. Now, when COVID happened, right, a lot of this said that look, a lot of these sales cycles, if I may say, a lot of these steps in the sales cycle just did not happen because there was just nobody going out. You were not watching, seeing things, feeling things, and that behavior actually went out quite a bit. It extended much longer than I think any marketer expected. And you can still see the hysteresis effect of that. Like you would have heard about the hysteresis effect. So if you take a piece of metal and it's charged and there's a magnetism which is induced in it, after you remove the electricity also, there is some magnetism which is still left in the piece, and that's called the hysteresis effect, right? Now that hysteresis effect is there, it's very, very visible, right? And I came across this interesting term, which is, the world is now moving into what is called the hermit economy, right? And what this hermit economy means is that, you have, the way hermits lived in the past, which is all these sages. You would be living in forest. They will go and pick whatever they needed from their immediate surroundings. So they ate whatever was available. They never went to another place and say, okay, I'm living in a warm zone. I want to have an apple. So I'll go to to another place where apple grows and then get it. So they say, look, if there's a fruit which is available here, they will eat it, eat only that. And they will not venture out into the other economy, other part of the forest and so on, right? This is called the hermit way of living. Now, the same thing has happened with hermit economy as well, where increasingly it has been found that consumers do not want to go out of their safety zone. Or what is that? It could be a physical, location, or it could be a set of tested brands saying, I want only this. I have, COVID has taught me what I need and what I don't need. So I'm not going to go out there, go out and have a massive shopping experience, travel 300 kilometers to buy something. If it's not there, it's not available. It's not available, it's fine. I won't need it, right? So this gives us pointers to two things. One is D2C brands, because again, everything may not be available in your physical vicinity of the consumer as well. So they need to go and look for brands online. That is a definite plus point for D2C. The other thing which is pointing it in that direction is the evolution of micro markets. And what do we mean by micro market? That every suburb and every suburb will have its own set of brands which are there. So if you look at cities in India, especially now, what you will see is that you go to any suburb, you'll find the same set of brands occupying the mind share of the people. Sometimes so much so that you don't, for a moment, you might get confused. Am I there in, Andheri, or am I there in Dadar in Mumbai? Because both of these look identical from the way the retailers are all stacked up. In fact, in many places, they also are adjacent to each other in almost the same way, adding to that. So there's a micro market there, and there's a D2C. These two are opposing each other, because if something is available in your micro market, then there's no D2C, right? Now, what I would think that D2C companies could definitely do is that, given this realization that people will definitely go out, we need an omni-channel communication, is to restrict and focus on geographies where they see to be flourishing, rather than saying, okay, this is a D2C brand, I can ship anything from anywhere and anybody can order it on the internet. So I'm good. Actually, they can go and do it. I can cater to anybody in the world. It may not be a reality when it comes to people not being able to receive, information, not being able to access, not being able to feel these particular, get an experience of these products and services.
Wonderful. So you're saying that it is important to, find that niche and play in that niche till you can get bigger than that and bigger than that. It's your typical basic business strategy that we all grew up with. But we've started just exploring and exploding this just a bit too much.
Yeah, so I wouldn't fault anyone for that, because anything which has got internet in it, the basic premise was it doesn't have any boundaries, right? So geography doesn't matter because it's internet. Anybody can access internet, and there is no such thing like internet is not available, right? So you're connected all the time. So why should there be any physical restriction? And in fact, it was always thought to be a self-imposed constraint, that you see, you never thought people can buy cars on internet. You never thought people will buy jewelry on internet. You never thought people will buy perfumes on internet. But people are doing it. And how, right? You look at the growth of the jewelry industry, for example. Like, hard to find really hard to believe that we've got people selling diamond necklaces and on online, right? So which is taking us in the opposite direction, actually, to that thinking. But then what happens is, there is a thing about something about, there is an initial success. We all know about fast followers, right? The people who will adopt it first. They just want it. Now, once you've done away with those, to grow further, your consumer break further, you'll have to use a different set of tactics. Because now, if those people, if the next set was ready for this, they would have done it by now. They've not done it. That means there's some barrier that's come in the way. So I think that's how one has to maybe reboot a little bit, and think about how will they win in those niches first, and then take it back. There will be a lot of learnings that they will get in the process. If you have a very diverse set of inputs that you're getting, you may not be able to come to any conclusion and go ahead with a strategy, because all this is very nice to hear, but then you have to go out there and make up a decision and reach out to your customers. So a smaller market where they know the market well, they're learning fast, should be the first approach, and then think about how are they going to use their learnings in another market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think when you're talking about the hermit economy, one more challenge that we see with brands is now every brand has its own app. And every brand wants me to download their app. Now, there is only so much my poor phone can handle, or even my brain can handle, right? How, and therefore, a lot of these apps are falling off from my radar or anyone's radar. How is Sinch or is community CPAS helping with that? Is it possible to do something around this?
Yes. So I think you said it well, Shiny, that having an app and having a consumer interact only on the app is the best thing to happen for a marketer's perspective, because somewhere there you're building loyalty, you've got all the data, you're able to communicate, you're able to keep the customer engaged, which is great. But then for the customer, it is a very heavy cost. So you might think, okay, how is it so expensive to have an app? It's free in most cases. So why would you think that there's anything expensive? So it is very expensive from the point of view of attention, right? Which is, as we have discussed, the most prized economical factor today. So if you're looking at that, how do you get the customer? And now we're going in the reverse direction, saying how do we ensure that all the way from awareness to trial to purchase to post purchase dissonance and then loyalty and advocacy, and you can add a few more sub steps in between, everything gets done outside of an app. If that was a challenge thrown at us at Sinch, we are up to it, because we've been able to help our consumers complete the whole transaction on a WhatsApp platform, for example. So you get a message which is creating awareness, you show some interest, you can go, you will get further information that will help you choose, get to know more products. You can go out there, select the product, then you can ask for a demo, etc. If that's the nature of the product, and then you can actually purchase, make the payment on the app, and then get loyalty points for it, all outside the app. It's possible to do that. So I'm glad that we could solve this challenge for all our consumers, because the app thingy was not, it was working for very few people, very few types of industries like payments, banks, yes, but when it came to fashion, etc., it had limited usage. And suddenly the marketer's goal, instead of saying that this is the revenue that I have to chase, this is the profitability I have to chase, he was actually chasing how many people have downloaded my app and how can I virtually bribe my way through it by giving them incentive, which yeah, you can get a good number in terms of how people have downloaded it. But if people don't see a value in using it, they will stop using it. And people didn't see a value. Not to mention one minor issue, which is that if it is geolocation that's involved, it's a heavy drain on your battery. So from a practical perspective, if you kept a geolocation on and let's say you're going home from your home to a mall and then coming back, by the time you've gone into the mall, 40% of your battery is already done. And the whole app actually gets activated only when you keep it on. So for example, let's say you've got a pizza delivery company and you have the app, you are going in front of that shop, it's supposed to give you a tinkle saying, hey, you're passing by this, come inside and get a 40% off. Now that will happen only when your geolocation is on, and that's a very expensive thing from a energy perspective. Imagine you're going out there, just going around the mall, by the time you come, your battery is actually drained, which is one of the worst things that you can imagine can happen, should be happening to you. So keeping the whole customer engagement outside of the app is something that is possible on messaging platform very well now.
Wonderful. I think it addresses two concerns. One is energy, of course. Two is privacy also. I
Yep.
don't want my phone to be aware of all my movements all the time, right?
Correct.
So I think very interesting way of solving a really big challenge. And I think in our conversation today, we actually have tried to sort out how Sinch has solved multiple challenges for the consumers. What are your priorities? If so, to a last question. I think we've spoken and gotten so much information about Sinch and about this CPA space now. Now, if you have to pick three priorities which you are super excited about for the coming year, what would those be?
I think my three priorities are innovation, innovation, and innovation. And I'm saying it with a purpose because I think we got some very exciting offerings coming. We've introduced a few in the market already. We'll see more of that coming, more of improvements, significant upgrades coming on all those products. And I think the best thing I've ever enjoyed in any job is that my consumer comes to me with a problem, and we've been able to solve it comprehensively. Nothing can be more gratifying than that. So for me, I think that is what I'm super excited about, and in the coming year. And I'm also looking forward to engaging with a new set of customers that which we believe are completely underserved in the by the CPaaS players and others. We just definitely want to be looking at that going forward. You'll hear more of this coming in the next few weeks and months. I think every year brings with it its own element of excitement in terms of what is new. As some people may dismiss the new year as, okay, just another year in the calendar, so what's the big deal? Because on the ground nothing has changed. I do believe on the ground things change, because I think there's a new there's a fresh thinking, right? We all clear up all our mails, we all buy nice good looking notebooks so that we can start afresh. I think that the energy which is there, which the new year brings, I think itself is a very big plus. And we're not done yet, because we got the December purchase cycle coming up. It can be quite significant in many industries. So we're very excited to see how that actually pans out for us, and how we can start the next year with a bang.
Wonderful. Start the next year with a bang. We will. Thank you so much, Sundar. This was such an eye-opening, wonderful conversation, as has been all conversations with you. So I hope our viewers enjoyed this, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Leadership Lens. Thanks once again, Sundar.
Thanks, Shiny. Thanks for having me here.